Yes, sir.
You must be familiar with Sanskritization.
Yes, sir.
And what is reverse Sanskritization? And to give an example in today's India, people say that because of different optional subjects,
Yes, sir.
there is not a, it's not a uniform system. So for a uniform playing field, if this option of having an optional subject is 5 women, dead or alive,
Yes, sir.
Indian or international,
Yes, sir.
whom you admire.
You didn't mention your girlfriend in the list?
Yes,
How is the logic vis-a-vis reservation for STs different from the logic vis-a-vis reservation for SCs?
In ancient time, Nalanda used to be center of learning. Students used to come from abroad.
Yes, sir.
And today what we are seeing is incidences of mass cheating and a student coming to Delhi for education.
Yes, sir.
What happened? What are the reasons for this poor state of education in the day? Recently we have seen Bhojpuri movies and music, and a lot of these songs which have double meaning, they go viral. What is the reason?
That is the basic
Yes, sir.
definition.
Thank
the
you, sir.
basic understanding. I am so glad you're one of the 1% who's been able to catch on.
May I come in, sir? May I come in, sir?
Please come in.
Thank you, sir.
I know him.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir.
Please take a seat.
Thank you, sir.
Briefly introduce yourself to the board.
Sir, my name is Syed Adeel Mohsin. I come from Muzaffarpur district of Bihar, where I completed my primary education. Thereafter, I moved to Delhi for my secondary education and my Bachelor of Technology in Mechanical Engineering. And sir, since then I have been preparing for Civil Services Examination, and I have also completed my Masters in Sociology from Center for Distance and Open Education, Jamia RCA. And sir, my hobby includes playing online chess, watching nature documentaries, teaching and mentoring.
Excellent.
So is Muzaffarpur a smart city?
Yes, sir. Muzaffarpur is one of the smart cities.
So have you really become smart or still in the process?
Sir, it is still in the process. There have been certain developments in this regard. For instance, we have smart traffic lights in Muzaffarpur that have been installed at several places. CCTVs have been installed, especially in dark spots. And integrated command and control center has been established in Muzaffarpur. So these are some of the things that have been done.
And what are the things in the pipeline?
Sorry, sir.
What are the things still left to be done?
Right. Sir, the smart traffic lights, for example, that have only been installed at certain places, whereas it needs to be installed on every corner. So that has not yet been done. Integrated control and command center is still in the process to be fully functional. And so CCTVs again has not been installed completely.
What was the deadline, not for Muzaffarpur, in general for the smart cities? What was the deadline? Do you have any idea? Has it been extended?
Sir, if I'm not sure, but if I can recall it correctly, it was 2022, but I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up.
You are a mechanical engineer.
Yes, sir.
You know what a flywheel is?
A flywheel, yes, sir.
So if I say that bureaucracy is the flywheel of Indian democracy,
Yes, sir.
how will you explain that?
Yes, sir. Sir, the function of flywheel is that it stores kinetic energy and it transfers that energy to the machine whenever it is required. So in that context, sir, Indian bureaucracy is a flywheel because it is a repository of energy and innovation. So in that sense, Indian bureaucracy can impart that energy to the entire government bureaucracy, government machinery, and it can help run the government machinery. So yes, I do agree that it is a flywheel.
Okay. Your sociology you have taken as your optional.
Yes, sir.
You must be familiar with Sanskritization.
Yes, sir.
And what is reverse Sanskritization? And can you give an example in today's India?
Sir, my understanding of reverse Sanskritization is a process where the usually low bond caste starts.
I know.
Right. So, sir, when this direction of emulation of the practices and culture is reversed in the direction of the low bond caste, when the upper caste starts emulating low bond caste, that is referred to as reverse Sanskritization. In certain contexts, it can also be a tribalization, where people start emulating tribal practices. Sir, in recent context, it is more relevant in the context of competitive backwardness, wherein different castes are competing to show themselves as backward for gaining advantages of reservation. So, in that context, it is often used.
Okay. People say that because of different optional subjects,
Yes, sir.
there is it's not a uniform system. So, for a uniform playing field, if this option of having an optional subject is used, as it has been done in the UP Public Service Commission, they have done away with the
Yes.
option. So, how is this idea? So, everyone will have a same playing field. Otherwise, people say that there are some biases towards certain subjects, especially sociology, all science, geography. These were the three top subjects which last year people have taken,
Yes.
and they have succeeded. Tell me about this idea.
Yes, sir. Sir, experts have pointed out that optional often leads to differential treatment of different candidates, and because of which there have been certain recommendations where some have recommended completely eliminating optional subject from this examination, whereas there have been certain innovative approaches as well. For instance, experts have recommended that public administration can be included as another subject, because anyway bureaucrats are going to get involved in public administration. So if they have prior understanding of the process of public administration, so they will it will help them become a better bureaucrats. So in that case, this can be this recommendation can be included, can be implemented.
Suppose we ask you to give some more suggestions regarding this UPSC examination. What else you would like to change?
Sir, based on my experience of this examination, sir, I would recommend that the weightage of interview can be further reduced, because it is a subjective process, and it may hamper chances of candidates who deserve to be selected. So we can continue evaluating students based on their personality, but the overall weightage can be reduced. One.
Yeah, okay.
Yes,
That's
sir.
one point.
That is one point, sir. So secondly, as we were talking about optional, so public administration can be made one of the subject. And thirdly, sir, as we have seen in the recent times with the CSAT paper, so CSAT paper is becoming more of a sieve through which the students from humanities background are getting eliminated. So either we can rationalize the difficulty level of the CSAT paper, or I would recommend rationalizing the difficulty levels.
My last question to you.
Yes, sir.
5 women, dead or alive,
Yes, sir.
Indian or international,
Yes, sir.
whom you admire?
So first and foremost, I admire my mother for.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I don't want reason, Mr.
Right. Secondly, I admire Sarojini Naidu. Thirdly, Draupadi Murmu, our current President of India. And sir, with respect to chess, the game that I play, that is my hobby, I admire Koneru Hampi because she was the first Grandmaster from India. And and sir, these are the 4 women I can recall. Right.
Can't think of the fifth.
Sir, I can.
Many. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Adeel. So you play online chess.
Yes.
What's your online rating?
Sir, on chess.com in rapid category, my rating is 1823 or around that.
Okay. Okay. And what's your favorite chess opening?
Sir, usually I play Queen's Gambit with white, and recently I've been playing Sicilian Gambit with black.
Okay. All right. So since you have sociology as your optional,
Yes, sir.
I Can you name a female sociologist, non-Indian, alive, who you think has done incredible work in sociology?
Sir, Shoshana Zuboff, she is the female sociologist whom I read recently about, and she gave the concept of a system of capitalism where this emerging big data companies control people, control citizens through access to the information. So she is one of the sociologists that I can recollect right now.
And an Indian female sociologist alive who you think, again, has done significant work?
Sorry, sir, I cannot recollect it.
Oh, it's all right. Okay. So, see, when we talk about reservation,
Yes, sir.
it is argued that when we are particularly looking at historically marginalized communities,
Yes,
the scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes, although we extend, there is reservation extended to both the communities, but the logic for each of them is different.
Yes.
How is the logic vis-a-vis reservation for STs different from the logic vis-a-vis reservation for SCs?
Sir, the logic for reservation for scheduled caste is mostly rooted in the historical discrimination that they have faced, and they have always been at the margin of society, because of which they did not have sufficient access to resources and opportunities, which resulted in their current backwardness, and therefore to address that, the reservation policy was brought. For scheduled tribes, they do not face similar set of circumstances in terms of untouchability, in terms of caste backwardness. Their backwardness is mostly related to their basically their source of their livelihood. For example, they were forest dependent upon forest. The technology that they use were mostly primitive. So because of their economic backwardness, they had not been able to integrate properly into the larger Indian society, and therefore to integrate them within the society and to give them equal opportunities, the reservation policy was given to them.
Okay. My last question in relation to online dating apps.
Yes, sir.
There are concerns raised with respect to casteism, growing casteism, in relation to online dating apps.
Yes, sir.
What are your thoughts on that? Online dating and caste as a phenomenon.
Yes, sir. Sir, this represents basically how tradition and modernization in India coexist, because while people are using modern technology to find their spouse, to find their partners, however, at the same time, they continue with this caste-based identities, where people continue to look for their partner who belong to the same caste. So this is a unique situation in India where this modernity coexists with tradition. But sir, this is also changing because of access to technology. People are having more choices in terms of choice of partners outside of their caste boundaries, outside of their religious boundaries. So this is being challenged also because of this online dating.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, good evening, Adeel.
Good evening.
How are you doing today?
Sir, I'm doing great.
Okay, very good. So, this is your which mock interview? First, second, fourth, 10, 20?
Ma'am, first mock interview.
First?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, that's impressive. And when is your interview?
Ma'am, it is on 21st of March.
21st March. Okay, very good. Apparently, I think twice you have appeared in the UPSC interviews.
Yes, ma'am.
What were the marks you got?
Ma'am, in my first interview, I got 176 marks.
176.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
and
But in second interview, unfortunately, I got less marks. I got 150 marks.
150.
Yes, ma'am.
Chalo. Hope you're going to crack it this time and you'll get more than 200 marks.
Thank you, ma'am.
Inshallah.
Thank you.
Okay. So you come from Muzaffarpur
Yes, ma'am.
in Bihar. Why is it called the sweet city?
Ma'am, I think it is because of lychee production from Muzaffarpur. It is a
Yes,
sweet
because
fruit.
of lychee cultivation there.
Yes, ma'am.
So if I say or ask you, what type of lychee is Shahi lychee? Is it a lychee
Yes, ma'am. Shahi lychee is a variety of lychee.
or is it a mango?
Shahi lychee is a type of lychee, ma'am.
Huh?
Type of lychee.
Acha, what's so different about Shahi lychee?
Ma'am, Shahi lychee as compared to the China lychee, China variety, is more, it has thicker flesh.
It's smaller, bigger?
Ma'am, it is bigger.
It's big.
Yes.
Okay.
It has thicker flesh. Its taste is sweeter than China lychee, and it has a rose-like rose. It is scented like a rose. So overall, it is considered a better variety. But the problem with Shahi lychee is that it has low shelf life as compared to China variety of lychee.
Okay, okay, very good. So you come from the beautiful and historical state of Bihar.
Yes, ma'am.
So why is your state one of the poorest states in India with the perhaps the lowest per capita income?
Yes,
Reasons and how you think you can make a turnaround?
Yes, ma'am. The per capita income of Bihar is around 50,000, which is one of the lowest in India. And ma'am, it largely, the reason because of which it is low largely relates to the fact that Bihar is one of the most densest and highly populated state in India, coupled with low industrial development, low size of a state GDP. And ma'am, that largely has been due to several factors, including historical factor, wherein the British colonialism, for example, they brought permanent settlement, which made agriculture in Bihar unremunerative, unproductive. And afterwards, after
How can a change be made?
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the changes can be made by focusing on the strength that Bihar has, which is in terms of its high demographic dividend, very large young population. And so, ma'am, we need to focus upon developing industries in Bihar which can provide jobs to the people
Employment
of Bihar, employment
and,
generation.
Yeah, you're
Yes,
right.
ma'am. Ma'am, secondly, we can focus upon focusing on women empowerment, because women also constitute a large section of the society whose energy is untapped. So we can focus upon that.
Okay, very good. So, you said cricket is your hobby. You like playing cricket or watching cricket?
Ma'am, I like playing cricket. It's not my hobby, but I used to play while I was in my college.
Okay, very good. So, when is the IPL being held? Has the schedule been announced for IPL?
Yes, ma'am, it has been announced, but I'm not exactly aware of the dates.
Okay, you're not aware of it. So, this World Cup,
Yes, ma'am.
who has won the World Cup for the maximum number of times?
Ma'am, Australia has won.
And second?
Ma'am, it should be West Indies, but I'll have to look it up.
And third?
Ma'am, I'll have to look it up.
India stands nowhere. कहीं पे तो उसको थोड़ी सी जगह दे दो.
Ma'am, I'm not exactly aware.
इंडिया ने वर्ल्ड कप कब जीता ये नहीं मालूम है. हाँ?
Ma'am, I know when India won. It
कब
won in
जीता?
1983 and 2011.
हाँ, yes.
Yes, ma'am. But in terms of ranking as to how many.
Okay, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So another cricketing question. Why is the pink ball used in cricket and not the red ball always?
Ma'am, pink ball cricket has been introduced mostly because it is believed that it is more visible in certain conditions, especially in Test cricket. So that is one of the reasons.
Especially when you have floodlights.
Yes, yes.
If you
especially
play day and night,
Yes, ma'am.
then it is used. Now, my last question to you is, because you have done sociology,
Yes,
you have to tell me 3 advantages of marriage and 3 disadvantages of marriage. Or if you want, you can say 6 disadvantages of getting married. It's your choice.
Ma'am, I think
It's personal. Batao.
I think advantages are more than disadvantages.
Acha,
But I'll
batao.
need to. So advantages are in terms of reproduction, the production of progenies. Secondly,
Production of
the progenies, the next
progeny.
generation.
वो तो बिना शादी के भी हो जाएगा. उसमें शादी किस लिए चाहिए?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, it does provide a sense of security and
Yes,
stability.
that I agree.
So, a system of
Legal and social
acceptability
acceptance. Yeah.
is provided.
Okay.
And similarly, legal and social acceptance is provided to sexual gratification,
Okay.
which is one of the aspect. And thirdly, it also ensures providing a family which provides support to the children, the elderly, and emotional support
Emotional support
to the
or
spouses.
whatever. Okay.
So these are the 3 advantages. Ma'am, disadvantages can be seen in terms of patriarchy, because in marriages the relation are mostly patriarchal, where women are on the receiving end. It has been seen that marriage has been mostly brings negative consequences for women, because a survey showed that after marriage men had more chances of improved career opportunities, whereas women had less career. Women's career basically went down
Okay.
after marriage.
Second?
Secondly, also in terms of family, it is seen that often, especially marriages which are not a very happy marriage, it has negative consequences upon
More
the children.
divorce rates, you can say.
Yes, ma'am. Divorce
Okay.
rates are high, and also, ma'am, negative consequences upon the children, because of the infighting in the family, because of the which has emotional and physical consequences upon the children. So these are the consequences.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Adeel,
Yes, sir.
since you're from Bihar, you know, in ancient time, Nalanda used to be the center of learning. Students used to come from abroad.
Yes, sir.
And today what we are seeing is incidences of mass cheating and student coming to Delhi for education.
Yes, sir.
What happened? What are the reasons for, you know, this poor state of education in India?
Yes, sir. Sir, during the ancient time, Bihar, along with being the center of learning, was also a center of power and economic center. So that largely contributed to its status as central of learning. However, in recent times, Bihar's socio-economic conditions has degraded. Bihar economically has not been doing as good as it used to do in the past. The law and order situation got worsened, especially during the 70s till 90s. So that largely contributed to the poor educational outcome. However, in recent times, steps have been taken to improve education in Bihar. For instance, there have been increased budget outlay in Bihar. Nearly 17 to 20%, 12 to 13% budget outlay is being given to education in Bihar, which is one of the highest in the country. And also there have been focus on improving the school infrastructure, in providing school accessibility to the student. Overall gross enrollment rate in Bihar has gone very high. So there have been improvement, and hopefully it will bear fruit in the near future.
This, you know, Bihar is continuously facing the problem of out-migration.
Yes, sir.
If you become district magistrate, how would you address that in your district?
Sir, firstly I'll try to understand the reason for the out-migration, and based on my understanding it is related to the push as well as pull factor. So I'll address both the factor. I'll address the pull factor by creating job opportunities in Bihar. I will, in my particular district, I'll identify the strength areas of my district where we can bring industries, where we can set up manufacturing industries, we can focus upon providing food processing industries. So we will generate job in Bihar. Secondly, the pull factor is also because of accessing education outside of Bihar. So we can create education institutions in my district so that people do not have to migrate outside of Bihar. And secondly, I'll address the the push factor, that is lack of infrastructure, the rate of crime in Bihar. So we can address those issues to retain the people in my district.
I'm sure you could have done, all those. But I look at your DAP and your first choice is not your own state. How would the condition of state, improve if, young dynamic people like you would not want to go to Bihar?
Sir, my current home state is Delhi because I have been living in Delhi for the past 11-12 years, and I have declared my home state as Delhi. So I'm choosing my given that I have chosen Bihar because my lived experience in Bihar tells me that I would be more suitable to I would be better able to deliver my services in Bihar because I have lived there, I have experiences from Bihar. So that's why I have chosen Bihar.
Okay. Now, yesterday was Women's Day.
Yes.
How did you celebrate Women's Day?
So firstly, I wished Happy Women's Day to all the women that I know, including my mother, my sisters. And secondly, sir, I understood the contribution, I reflected upon the contribution that women have the role that women have played in my life, and I reflected, and I basically that helped me respect their contribution even more. So this is how I celebrated it.
You didn't mention your girlfriend in the list?
Sorry, sir, I do not have a girlfriend.
Okay. Recently we have seen, Bhojpuri movies and music, and a lot of these songs which have double meaning, they go viral. What is the reason?
Sorry, sir, I missed your last.
So a lot of, Bhojpuri songs with lyrics having double meaning,
Yes, sir.
they are the only songs which go viral, while there is other music which is equally good. It doesn't really get, a sort of audience in the society.
Yes, sir, this is one of the concerns with Bhojpuri cinema, that it does bring out certain level of vulgarity in the movies as well as in songs. And in recent times, with the expansion of access to mobile networks, especially among the young people, this vulgarity has taken root because there is increasing number of audiences who are ready to listen to those songs. So basically it is from both sides. The producers are producing because there are more number of people who are watching, and there is a young population who is feeling more inclined towards such songs. So this is the reason because of which it is rising.
In Bihar we have seen parties switching, alliance and then government changing.
Yes, sir.
Do you think we need a legislative solution to address this issue? Or if you don't think so, what are the solutions?
Sir, this is one of the features of parliamentary democracy where this creation and destruction of alliances constantly take place. So, but to address that, we already have certain legislation. The 10th schedule that we have, anti-defection law, it does address this issue to a certain extent. But in case of wholesale defection, or in case of where a party completely switches the alliance, that is permissible under the parliamentary system of democracy, and I think that in fact strengthens the democracy in India because it does sort of brings a sense of accountability to the government, because if a government is not performing well, their coalition partner can switch side. So in my opinion, it does bring certain level of accountability.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Adeel साहब, ये बताइए, during the year 2021, that COVID had overtaken the entire world practically.
Yes, sir.
At the end of 21-22, in some ways India gained.
Yes, sir.
There were quite a few positives which that period delivered to India.
Yes, sir.
What were those positives?
So firstly, the positive was in terms of the vaccine production. India became one of the hub of vaccine production, and it also helped diplomatically because of our vaccine diplomacy.
Right.
So this is one aspect. Secondly, sir, in terms of the digital economy in India, it boomed in the post-pandemic period, especially e-commerce, digital education. So that has given a new impetus to Indian economy. Thirdly, sir, there has been increasing push towards accessing skill development in new sectors like artificial intelligence, blockchain, because it became a prominent part of global economy. So there is increasing push towards those sectors. And thirdly, sir, we also saw in the backdrop of pandemic that women's participation in workforce has increased. Recent data by PLFS shows that women's participation in labor force has increased to 37%.
Work from home as a culture and therefore savings on so many aspects.
Yes, sir.
Flexibility,
Yes, sir.
flexi timing and all that.
Yes, sir.
Right, very good, very good. Okay, briefly tell me what were the takeaways from the G20 summit? How did India gain there?
Yes, sir. Sir, at the G20 summit, India basically emerged as the voice of the global South. India raised issues that were concerned with the global South. India also helped bring the African Union into the G20's fold. And there were certain steps that were taken. For instance, the Middle East India corridor that was brought in. So there was these steps that were taken, and so this is what I can recollect right now.
So what happened to the Middle East corridor? What was it called? IUMECC something.
Yes, sir. Sir, I cannot recollect the name right.
India United
Middle East corridor, sir.
Middle East IMEUCC,
Yes,
right?
Yes, sir.
And Central Europe and everything.
Yes, sir.
What happened to it? Why did it go into a slum?
Sir, I'll have to read more about
Very common sense thing, don't even have to read about it.
right.
The Middle East crisis was supposed to pass through this region.
Right, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir.
Okay. Lastly, and think carefully,
Yes, sir.
electricity is but the movement of electrons,
Yes, sir.
movement of charge,
Yes, sir.
whichever. Now there is a phenomenon called superconductivity,
Yes, sir.
which is conduct of electricity, conduction at very low temperatures,
Yes, sir.
so that there is low resistance and it goes, right? That's
Yes, sir.
the entire principle of superconductivity.
Yes, sir.
What if somebody comes and says, I have reached 0 degree K,
Yes, sir.
so I have created the perfect conductor
Yes, sir.
at 0 degree K.
Yes, sir.
So why should you take his claim with a bucket of salt?
Sir, there was a recent case from South Korea, if I recollect correctly, where a similar claim was made that they have reached superconductivity at.
Superconductivity you can reach.
Yes, sir.
It can happen at minus 170 degrees also. But
Yes,
can
sir.
you reach absolute zero? That is the pertinent question.
Yes, sir.
You can keep going low and low and low, but you cannot reach zero. Just as you can go fast and fast and fast, but you cannot reach.
The speed of light, sir.
So why is it theoretically impossible? That is the question I wanted to address.
Sir, based on my understanding of mechanical engineering, the absolute zero temperature is not possible, because at that level entropy would be zero. There would be no matter at all. So that
There would be no matter to nahi kahenge. There
Yes,
would be
sir.
no energy.
no energy left in the system.
Meaning
No disorder at all. Everything will be stagnant. Kinetic energy will be
the
zero.
electrons will stop
Moving. Yes, sir.
That is the basic
Yes, sir.
definition.
Thank you, sir.
Basic understanding. I am so glad you are one of the 1% who's been able to catch on.
Thank you, sir.
Okay? Although you started off with Korea.
Yes, sir.
है ना?
Yes, sir.
Which brings me to the exact. Now interview is over.
Thank you, sir.
Which brings me to the feedback. You see, listen to the question. Focus on the question.
Okay, sir.
It could be a trick one.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a controversial one.
Yes, sir.
It could ask for your opinions. Right?
Yes, sir.
In all these cases, unless it's a Q and A, that is the capital of Bolivia, where did the Prime Minister go last month, all that stuff.
Yes, sir.
Which are factual.
Mhm.
Anything more than that, and look and be focused on the question.
Okay, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Look for the catch.
Okay, sir.
Understand whether the question is about Agra or Taj Mahal or Marble
Okay, sir.
or Fatehpur Sikri.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Then pause for a second. You may be having a long argument, 10-minute speech prepared for on that topic.
Yes, sir.
Our job is not to listen to your 10 minutes of speech on the topic.
Mm-hmm.
Our job is to specifically ask for one aspect of that topic, and you have to address only that one in the next 10-20 seconds.
Yes, sir.
There's a difference, you understand?
Yes, sir.
Throughout this interview, I have the feeling that you are speaking fast
Yes, sir.
and speaking more than that's required.
Okay, sir.
Sometimes,
Mhm.
sometimes. If I am asking you to enumerate all the reasons,
Mm-hmm.
what are the take, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, a couple of negatives. Your voice is in a dull monotone.
Okay, sir.
You are very eloquent, mind.
Mm-hmm.
You are very eloquent, your phrases are chosen very carefully,
Thank you, sir.
and you are a very, very good speaker.
Yes, sir.
No doubt.
Yes, sir.
But helps if you are able to put some
Voice modulation.
energy and modulation in your voice.
Okay, sir.
Okay, practice. 2, we have a tendency to swing like this.
Yes, sir.
I'm not worried because UPSC and CTR
Tell you. Yes, sir.
okay?
Mhm.
But it's displaying nervousness.
Okay, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
3, your hands should be moving in sync with your ideas and your voice.
Okay, sir.
There's very minimal, in fact, they are frozen. It's not natural. It can't be natural.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
All of us move our hands,
Yes, sir.
right?
Mhm.
Please use them to gesticulate.
Okay, sir.
4thly, please use your eye movement as a tool to connect with all the board members.
Okay, sir.
You're looking at only one person. The others are also assessing you, they are also giving you marks.
Yes, sir.
You don't want to lose out of that, are you?
No, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
The problem I have always with long answers is
Mhm.
A, it shows that you are just speaking whatever you have read about.
Yes, sir.
The second is, you're speaking fast as if to get over with it.
Mm-hmm.
In the process, what any human being would do is to utter some phrase which is way off or which will be caught by a nasty board member and then the person will just take off with it. तो इसलिए बहुत ज़्यादा जल्दी बोलने की कतई ज़रूरत है.
ठीक है.
जितना आप अपने वर्ड्स को एम्फसाइज करके उन्हें समझ के उन्हें वे करके बोल सकते हैं.
Yes, sir.
I mean, as I like to say, the board will not count your words; they will weigh your words.
Yes, sir.
Do that.
Thank you, sir.
Otherwise, you are an excellent candidate, and I am very happy with it.
Thank you, sir.
Sir,
Absolutely, good to go.
Thank you, sir.
मेहनत कर रही है. When is the interview?
Sir, it is 21st of March.
Very good.
Thank you.
You're very good.
Thank you, madam.
All the best.
one more last thing. Whenever you come in, invariably address the lady, greet the lady member first.
Okay.